Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a quick little run through on how to punch needle. Just working on a quick little project. Today I'm going to make a coaster. Here are the tools and materials that I'm going to be using for today. I've got an old canvas frame that I've put some nails into to hold my fabric. Got my fabric scissors to cut my fabric. Got my Oxford punch needle. I've got my monk's cloth fabric, which is what most punch needlers will use as kind of the standard fabric. And just some yarn that I got over at Michael's. Before I get you pulled in nice and close so you can see what I'm doing, I am going to put my monk's cloth on my frame. For me, I tend to put it on and then reposition it to make it as taut as possible. Okay, so now that I've cut off the excess fabric, it really gives me the ability to start taking it off the nails and pulling as tight as I can. You're gonna want your monk's cloth to be as tight as possible. So that give, that's about the right amount. The tighter that it is, the easier it is to punch the needle through the fabric. I've brought you in real nice and close so you can see what I'm doing firsthand. So I've drawn out the shape that I am planning on punching. But before I get to that part, let me show you how to thread your needle. So I've got here an Oxford punch needle. The one I've got here is a number 9 Oxford punch needle. Got our yarn here. First we're going to run it through the loop at the bottom. Then you're going to pull it up the length of your needle and we're going to put it through this hole. Now there are tools to get it from down there to up there without having to roll up the yarn, but personally I find that the way that I do it is not that difficult. Now that we have our punch needle threaded, it is time to start punching. Now how you start is you just make sure you have a little bit hanging out of your needle and you're just going to go ahead and punch it through the fabric. This is what that looks like on the other side. And when you pull out, you'll leave that bit of yarn poking through. So let's turn it back over and continue on. Just a note while I'm taking a quick break here, it's really super important to make sure you always have some slack in your yarn, because if you don't, you'll end up just pulling out the stitches that you already did. Now I've come into a little snag where when I punch, it just rips out my stitches, but I still have a lot of slack in my yarn. So I pulled this out and gave my yarn a little tug and realized that there is a knot, which is stopping it from passing through. So I'm going to show you how to stop and restart. Just going to go up to the last stitch that I did, give it a little snip, and then I'm going to flip this over and look for my last little stitch, which is over here. I'm just gonna give that a little pull so the tail is through. And that is it. We'll flip her back over and continue on. Now starting over is exactly the same as starting in the first place. So all you're gonna do is poke through, make sure you have lots of slack in your yarn, and continue punching holes in your monk's cloth. Now that we've got that done, we're gonna end this just the same way that we ended with that knot before. So we're just gonna pull out, give it a little snip, and then just make sure that the end of that yarn is not gonna just come unraveled on this side. One more thing that I didn't mention earlier, it's super important that the direction that you're moving your needle in is the open side, not the side where the tail is. You want your tail to trail behind what you're doing. All right, now that we're done with the punching part, we're gonna get on to the finishing part. So we are going to pull this off of our frame. And this is what we have. This is what the punched part looks like. This is the fuzzy part of your design, and this is the part that we were punching into. So this would have been facing us. Now, a lot of people do designs with this side. I prefer everything to look like a rug. So what we'll do is we will cut this out, making sure that we leave about 1 inch of fabric around the outside because we will be folding that in later. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this. And what we're gonna do is cut some little slices into this to make it nice and easy to fold it in on itself on the back. Should be left with something like that. Now we are going to take our hot glue gun to it. After you've glued everything down, you should have something that looks like that. And I'm just going to cut out a circle that I will glue over top of this to cover the entire back, just to kind of make it look pretty. There we go, we have a nice finished back. And we could leave our mug rug here and done, or we could trim some of the little loops on top here. And there is our cute little mug rug coaster. Thank you for sticking around for today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think I should make in the next video, and we will see you next time. Bye.